So, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us for another week of config challenges. As you'll see, I'm not Hugh. You'll have to put up with me this week. Hugh, unfortunately, has fallen in ill. Fortunately, not from coronavirus, but what seems more like the risk of the good weather, food poisoning due to barbecuing some food. At least that's what we hope. So it'll be me presenting the config challenges and other webinars throughout this week. Today's config challenge, I'm just going to share my screen with you so that you can see the brief and refer back to it. Of course, it's going to be published on the website again as well. You'll have to bear with me a bit. I'm not quite as used to this whole setup as Hugh. So here we go. Today's config challenge is about realizing an employee in and out board or a fire register. It's all based around what you are probably all familiar with from offices, the sort of boards that you have behind reception desks where you can mark different employees as being in or out of the building. It's particularly useful if you've got large facilities like a warehouse or workshops and things where people are roaming around in different locations, aren't necessarily at a fixed desk, and needing to know whether someone is actually in at the moment or out. So here we've got a little user story. As an employer, I'm constantly faced with that challenge of knowing who's actually in and out. When I want to direct a phone call to someone, trying to find someone to ask them to do something, it often comes down to having to run around the building to try and find them, to eventually be told, oh, hang on, they've gone out for lunch, or, oh, they aren't in yet, or, oh, they've gone home for the day. And obviously that's less than ideal, just keep wasting a lot of time. So I would really like something that represents that good old-fashioned in-out board that you used to have behind a reception desk, but have it on my phone, on my laptop, so that I can instantly see who's actually in the office and who's out. Apart from satisfying my own curiosity, like I already said, it avoids having to run around to try and find someone just to then realize that they have gone out. Now, a couple of details on this. So, I want to be able to see this, and I want this to be realized in a way that doesn't mean employees have to do any additional tasks. This should be just seamlessly something that is tied into the locks on access control system, which is going to be using NFC code touches, where people already have to hold their key fob or enter their PIN code into it in order to get into the building or out of the building. So we're assuming that there's an NFC code touch on the inside and on the outside to gain access and to go out. So we've got like a clocking in and clocking out system. And we're going to use that information to create a dashboard to show us who's at the moment there and who's out. This also, of course, has a really, really nice benefit that it automatically generates what's known as a fire register. So knowing who's in or out of the system when the fire alarm goes off. And to make this relevant for a fire alarm, we need to make sure that this register gets locked whenever the fire alarm goes off. So if the fire alarm goes off, then no more changes to this register should occur. Register should be locked as it is to show who at the point of the fire alarm going off was inside the building and who was out. So that that register can be then taken outside to do a head count and to try and work out if everyone has come out or if someone is stuck somewhere in the toilet or something. And we need to go looking for them or send the fire brigade in to start looking for them. As a little extra challenge for anyone who thinks this is too simple, we've got a little bit more of my sort of employer's curiosity. I would like to know, how long are people actually in the office for? Are they actually working the 40 hours or something that I've contracted them for? So in addition to having my register, I would like to have a counter that tells me by the end of the week, or some sort of chart by the end of the week that tells me how long has someone been in the office for? How many hours have they worked that week? And that's it. That's a daily challenge. So just to briefly recap, what I'm looking for is a simple employee in-out board, so a dashboard that shows me who of my employees is currently in the building. I want that dashboard to be locked when the fire alarm goes off, so that there are no more changes that occur in the event of a fire alarm, so it can then be used to do a head count and work out if everyone's gotten out. And finally, as an extra challenge, I want the ability to see on a weekly level a report that tells me how many hours has someone spent at work. And that's it. I'll be back at 1 o'clock to go through the Q&A, and obviously at 5 o'clock to go through the solutions. I very much look forward to getting your solutions sent across. Please feel free to send them in to our office address, which is office@loxon.co.uk. so that I can have a look at them before 5 o'clock and we can then discuss them. Thank you very much.